Do you know about the SIM swapping schemes that have been making headlines recently? SIM swapping, if you're not familiar, is a type of identity theft where the criminal convinces a mobile service provider to switch the victim's phone number to a new SIM card controlled by the criminal. Now, imagine this method used to steal not just identities, but $400 million in cryptocurrency. That's exactly what happened in a recent case, where a man from Chicago, along with his accomplices, was charged. It's a complex and intriguing case, isn't it? This scheme wasn't just a random act of cybercrime. It was a highly targeted operation that left no stone unturned. The ruthless criminals had their eyes set on four major telecommunication giants: AT&T, Apple, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Not just in one state, but across a sweeping 13 states. These included California, Texas, Florida, New York, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, New Jersey, Virginia, and Washington. The methods employed by these criminals were nothing short of sophisticated. They used a technique known as SIM swapping. This involves tricking a telecom provider into switching a victim's phone number to a SIM card controlled by the criminal. Once they gained control of the phone number, they could bypass security measures, such as two-factor authentication, to access the victim's sensitive accounts. But it didn't stop there. The criminals also exploited weaknesses in the customer service systems of these companies. By impersonating their victims and using social engineering tactics, they were able to convince customer service representatives to give them access to crucial account information. And with this, they had all they needed to carry out their illicit activities. In addition to SIM swapping, these criminals were alleged to have used phishing attacks and other deceptive practices. It's a chilling reminder of how vulnerable we can be in this digital age, where our personal information can be used against us in ways we could never imagine. It's astonishing to see the length these criminals went to in order to carry out their fraudulent activities. From exploiting telecom companies to impersonating their victims, they left no room for error in their pursuit of illicit gains. The scheme was as elaborate as it was secret, but every crime leaves a trail. Just as the criminals left digital footprints, diligent investigators were able to follow the breadcrumbs. Piecing together the puzzle, they uncovered the vast extent of the operation. The crime was initially discovered when anomalies were noticed in the victims' accounts. This led to a deeper investigation that revealed a pattern of unauthorized access, suspicious transactions, and identity theft. Law enforcement agencies swung into action, tracing the digital fingerprints back to the perpetrators. Aided by cybersecurity experts, they unraveled the intricate web of deception. The criminals, a Chicago man among them, were apprehended in a coordinated operation spanning 13 states. The charges levied against them are severe and reflect the gravity of the crime. They stand accused of conspiracy to commit fraud, wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft. These charges carry hefty penalties, including substantial fines and lengthy prison sentences. The prosecution intends to send a clear message. Such high-tech heists will not be tolerated, and the perpetrators will face the full force of the law. The magnitude of this crime has sent shockwaves through the telecommunications and financial sectors. It has also exposed glaring vulnerabilities in our digital infrastructure, prompting calls for tighter security measures and stronger legislation to protect against such crimes. Before we move on, please take a moment to like this video and help spread awareness about this growing issue. The numbers involved are staggering, but it's important to remember that behind each figure is a victim. Indeed, it's easy to get lost in the enormity of the $400 million stolen and forget about the people who bore the brunt of this crime. For the victims, the impact goes far beyond the financial loss. It's an invasion of their privacy, a breach of trust that leaves a lasting mark. Imagine waking up one day to find your life savings wiped out. That's exactly what happened to over 50 individuals across 13 states. They were targeted, their identities used as a means to an end in this elaborate SIM swapping scheme. These individuals didn't just lose their money, they lost their sense of security. The emotional toll of such an event can be overwhelming. The fear, the stress, the feeling of violation, it's a heavy burden to bear. It's like being robbed in your own home, only the home is your phone, and the thief is an invisible entity hiding behind the veil of technology. Some victims have reported feeling a constant state of anxiety, always looking over their shoulder, questioning every call, every message. They've had to deal with the aftermath of the crime, the tedious process of reclaiming their identities, of proving to the world that they are who they say they are. And then, there are the victims who were tricked into believing their loved ones were in danger. The psychological trauma caused by such scams is immense. The fear, the panic, the desperate need to do anything to protect those you care about, only to find out it was all a cruel ruse. This isn't just about stolen money. It's about stolen peace of mind, stolen trust, and in some cases, stolen relationships. In a world increasingly dependent on technology, it's frightening to think that our safety can be compromised so easily. It highlights the need for stronger security measures, for continuous education about these ever-evolving threats. The ripple effect of such crimes is truly devastating. This isn't just a problem for the victims or the targeted companies. It's a problem for all of us. When we talk about the impact of these scams on our communities, we're not just referring to a handful of individuals who directly suffered. We're talking about a ripple effect that spreads far and wide, touching all of us in one way or another. Consider trust in technology, for instance. These scams shake our faith in the digital tools and platforms we rely on daily. Whether it's our smartphones, our emails, or our social media accounts, we use these technologies with a basic assumption of safety. When that trust is violated, it's not easily restored. It makes us question every digital interaction, every transaction, every click. Then, there's the financial security aspect. As a society, we're increasingly moving towards a cashless economy, with digital payments and cryptocurrencies gaining popularity. But when such scams occur, it derails our progress. It makes us question the security of these digital transactions. It makes us hesitant to embrace technological advancements that could potentially revolutionize our economic systems. And let's not forget about our sense of safety in our digital lives. We share our lives on the internet, our personal details, our memories, our thoughts. When these are violated or exploited, it's a violation of our personal space, our digital homes. It's akin to a break-in, leaving us feeling vulnerable and invaded. But here's the thing, we're not powerless. We can arm ourselves with knowledge, stay alert, and practice safe digital habits. We can demand better security measures from our service providers and hold them accountable. We can support victims instead of blaming them. We can foster a community that's aware, empathetic, and resilient. We all have a role to play in preventing such crimes and protecting our communities. It's been a deep dive into a world where technology and crime intersect in unexpected ways. We've explored the audacious SIM swapping scheme that saw a group of individuals, including a Chicago man, charged with stealing $400 million in cryptocurrency. They targeted unsuspecting victims in over a dozen states, breaching the systems of AT&T, Apple, Verizon, and T-Mobile. The discovery of this crime was a wake-up call to the vulnerabilities of our digital lives. It's a stark reminder that even as technology advances, so too do the methods and tactics of those with malicious intent. These criminals were eventually charged, but not before they'd inflicted significant harm. The impact on the victims was profound. Over 50 people had their lives disrupted, their sense of security shattered. The financial loss was substantial, but the emotional toll was immeasurable. The ripple effects extended beyond the immediate victims, affecting entire communities and shaking our collective trust in the systems we rely on. And this is the crux of why we need to stay informed and vigilant. We live in a digital age where our lives are increasingly intertwined with technology. Our personal and financial information is stored in digital form, accessible at the click of a button. But this convenience also opens us up to new forms of crime. We must be proactive in protecting ourselves, taking steps to secure our digital lives, and staying alert to the ever-evolving landscape of cybercrime. In the face of such challenges, knowledge is power. By understanding the nature of these crimes, their impact, and the means by which they're committed, we can better protect ourselves and our communities. Thank you for taking the time to learn about this important issue. Please comment below, share this video, and subscribe to this channel to keep yourself informed about such crucial matters.